There is a country smaller than the crowd that watches it play. Curacao. Around 150,000 people on an island you could drive across before lunch. This summer, they walked onto the World Cup as the smallest nation ever to make it. And the 11 players on that pitch are about to do something your body could not survive. Not the skill, the running. For 90 minutes, 11 ordinary-sized humans will quietly snap the limits of what a body is built to do. So how do they do it? And what happens when you make them do it on a mountain? These are not lab-grown athletes from some giant football factory. Curaçao's squad was pulled together from modest clubs, 25 of its 26 players born thousands of miles away in the Netherlands, and it is run by a 78-year-old man, the oldest manager in World Cup history. Their coach said it best. His players used to drive past stadiums like this one. Now they play inside them. And they are not alone. Cape Verde, an island chain of 500,000 people, nicknamed the Blue Sharks. Uzbekistan, the first Central Asian country to ever qualify. Jordan, there for the first time too. 4 debutants. 4 sets of completely normal human lungs. And every one of them has to solve the same brutal problem. How do you keep a body sprinting for 90 minutes when most people are wrecked after 20? Here is the part nobody pictures. It starts with a number. An outfield player covers roughly 10 to 12 kilometers in a single match. A landmark study by Di Salvo and his team tracked 300 top players and found that midfielders run the most, sometimes past 12. That is about the length of a 10K race. But here is the catch. Almost none of it looks like a 10K. A 10K runner holds one steady pace. A footballer does the opposite. Most of the match is jogging and walking, the quiet hum of the game. Then, with no warning, a sprint. Then a dead stop. Then another sprint. Players average around 17 of these all-out bursts a match. Stop, go, for an hour and a half. And every burst costs far more than steady running ever would. 2 engines make this possible. The aerobic system, your slow burn, sips oxygen and handles all that jogging. The anaerobic system is the emergency fuel for the sprints. It needs no oxygen, but it hands you that deep leg burn as the bill. The real trick of an elite player is flipping between both over and over and recovering in the seconds in between. That recovery has a name, VO2 max. The most oxygen your body can actually use. Basically the size of your engine. An average adult sits around 40. Elite players run in the low 60s. A bigger engine refills faster so you can sprint again sooner, which is why in minute 89 one player is still flying while the other is bent over, hands on knees, watching the ball roll into the net. So that is the body at sea level. Now take that engine and carry it up a mountain. On June the 17th, Uzbekistan played the very first match in their World Cup history. The venue? The Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, 2,240 meters above the sea. Of all the places to make your debut, they drew the thin air. Up there, every breath holds about a quarter less oxygen, not because the air is a different mix. It is the same air as everywhere else. There is simply less of it, pressed less tightly, so each lungful delivers less. For a body screaming for oxygen mid-sprint, that is a problem with no quick fix. The aerobic engine runs on oxygen. Thin the oxygen, and you choke the engine. Players tire sooner. They recover slower. The whole machine drops a gear. Football's bosses once panicked about exactly this. In 2007, FIFA banned international matches above 2,500 meters, worried the air was unsafe and the home advantage unfair. South America erupted. Bolivia's president called it discrimination and staged a protest match high in the mountains. Within a year, the ban was quietly dropped. And look closely at the line they drew, 2,500 meters. Mexico City sits at 2,240. Football's biggest tournament is being played right beneath the ceiling FIFA once feared, by about the height of a tall building. But here's the part nobody expects. The thin air does not only punish the players, it rewards the ball. Less air means less resistance, less drag, So the same shot, struck with the same power, flies faster and travels farther in Mexico City than it would at the coast. Goalkeepers who have spent their whole lives reading the speed of a ball suddenly find it arriving early. And the curve, that gorgeous bend on a free kick where the air pushes against a spinning ball, thin the air and you weaken the push. The ball bends less. The trick shot that dips and swerves at sea level flies flat and true up here. The same mountain that empties a player's lungs quietly sharpens their shooting. So picture it one more time. A nation of 150,000. A team of debutantes who used to drive past stadiums like these. All of them out there, lungs burning, trading two engines back and forth thousands of times, some of them doing it 1.5 miles up in the sky. The same thin air as the giants. The same impossible 90 minutes. Your body, with enough training, could be built for all of this. Your mind is another story. And nothing in football tests the mind quite like 12 yards, one ball, and a stadium holding its breath. That is where we go next.